Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we are going to be ranking the top 10 best non-gambling small forwards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM. And I'm not going to lie, making this list kind of like the non-gambling shooting guard list yesterday made a point to me that we are a little bit slacking at this point. 2K has been lacking a little bit in these slots with non-gambling shooting guards and small forwards. Kind of makes me hope. I'm recording this before the bold leaks come out, but y'all will see it after the bold leaks have already come out. Fingers crossed we're getting a good shooting guard small forward tomorrow, because there's a couple good small forwards in here for sure, but like in general this would be a nice slot for a really good like 6'8", 6'9" shooting guard small forward tomorrow. Would be a fire free card to get. Will that be what we get? My guess is no, but you know what, by the time y'all are watching this video we'll see, and hopefully it will be somebody good at least. But with that being said, before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 25,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, tons of consistent daily MyTEAM content. Would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it, and let's start off with the number 10 spot, which is going to be Mr. Julius Randle. I like Julius Randle. I actually think this card is decent. He has a pretty solid player build, plays very Zion-esque, very physical, athletic, 6'8" with a 7-foot wingspan, pretty versatile, super good, versatile defender, very athletic, shooting and playmaking certainly isn't bad statistically. He's nice and well-rounded, and he's got solid size with a good wingspan, nice release, decent, not amazing sigs or anything. The card is not special, next level elite, but he's certainly not a bad option. Good drag back, good dribble style. Not a bad card overall, and I think number 10 is very, very fair. Number 9 is Kenyon Martin, who is basically the exact same card as Julius Randle. They do the exact same thing. Kmart is 1 inch taller at 6'9". Release might be slightly worse, but stat and badge wise, they're exactly the same. Kenyon Martin, I think, has slightly better sigs with the Trey Escape. That's the main reason I put him above Julius. Honestly, I'd say their releases are relatively similar. So really, they're the same card, and they give you about the same thing. And I think because Kmart has Trey Escape, which is a go-to dribble sig, that is the reason that I put him above Julius Randle, basically. Number 8 is another card that gives you pretty much the exact same thing as these other two guys, James Worthy. The thing about Worthy is I prefer his release to both of them. That's the reason that he's at number 8 and they're at number 9 and 10. Again, does not have the greatest sigs. Behind the back's pretty good. He's got a decent dribble style. I think MJ dribble style. But overall, not the best sigs or anything like that. But I really like his release. Defensively, he's very good. He's a versatile 6'9" defensive guy who's athletic and defends, like I said, very, very well. And again, he provides basically the exact same thing as these other two guys do. I just prefer his release out of the three. And again, I think it pretty much, for the most part, is basically opinion. I cannot read my hands. Oh, I can. Okay, sorry. I could not read my handwriting, but that says Tari. Tari Eason is who I have at number 8. This one's going to feel a little weird, but number 1, his behind the back is better than any of these other guys. He's got Jamal Murray behind the back. I'm pretty sure it's Jamal anyway. And also his release is tied anyway, if not the best of all these guys. It's just as good as any of theirs. I would say it's as good as Worthy's. And then defensively, his badges, I mean, slashing wise, versatility wise, Hoff, Agent 3, catch, corner, limitless range, all that type of stuff, good shooter, speed, dunking, all that type of stuff. Like, there is very much, I think, there's almost no argument in my mind that he's not a top 7 or so small forward in the game. I understand he's only a pink diamond, but I really think he's a great card. I almost feel like I'm putting him too low there at number 7. Number 6 is Amari Stoudemire. Amari is, I mean, he's 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan, right? He's a good card. He's got a ton of size. That's the main value of this card, is the size. And I almost think putting him at 6 with how big and versatile he is and how great his stats and badges are and how big he is feels like a bad place to put him. But his release is pretty mediocre. I'm not going to lie. Yes, the sigs are really good. As a whole, the card itself is a very good card. I do not want to sit here and act like Amari is not an awesome option. I just think his release is mediocre. And am I putting him too low, putting him at number 6 realistically? Maybe. I don't know. It's like, a lot of this becomes opinion at the end of the day. It really does. Between these top tier cards, it really does become opinion, especially in like these non-gambling cards when a lot of them are very similar. Like a Larry Markkinen, he does not give me the shot creation sigs or versatility stat and badge wise that an Amari Stoudemire gives me, but he gives me a lot more shot making, a really elite release, great shooting ability, and then still athleticism and solid defense and a lot of size at 7 foot. Like, I still think he gives me a ton of size, a ton of versatility, and is a really, really good card in a lot of ways. I have a hard time putting him anywhere other. I don't know. Like, is top 5 too low for this card? But is it too high? Like, it's very, very tough when you compare him to a lot of these other guys. Like a guy like Rudy Gay is definitely a really good card. But again, I don't know. I think number 4 is probably a fair spot for Rudy. He's what, 6'8" with a 7'3" wingspan. The thing about Rudy that makes him really, really good is his height and wingspan. He has very, very good length, a really nice release. Like overall, I would say animation wise, he does a lot of things really, really well as a shooter and as a shot creator and all that type of stuff. I think that's where he's definitely at his best as a card. And sorry, y'all screwed up something. Anyways, Rudy Gay, his release is elite. Playmaking is really, really good. Finishing is super solid. It's just the defense with him that's the question mark. And the thing is, if you can add extra defensive badges and stuff like that to Rudy Gay, I think that can definitely elevate the card, because as a whole, I think he's a very, very good card. It's just the defense is a little questionable, and that is the one thing that would hold him back. So if you want to put him lower because of that, I would understand. I just think his release is really, really good, and I think he's offensively absolutely phenomenal, and that kind of helps overcome it, especially with the tray escape as well. Decent behind the back, John Wall's drag back, good, okay dribble style. Like overall, good card. It does a lot of things well, and I think number 4 is fair. Number 3. Tyrus Thomas. Is this too high for a pink diamond? Like, I almost don't know, because his release is really good. He has a low 3-ball rating at only an 80, but his release is really good. He's got Jamal Murray behind the back. He's got Kyrie dribble style. Really good saves besides the same side has he. But he needs shooting badges added. Defensively, he is phenomenal, and he's 6'9", so he has got good size. That's probably the main value to this card, really, to me, is that size and versatility. And I think overall, that's the thing that really, to me, puts him at a top 3 small forward in the game, because his release is phenomenal as well. It's such a good release. Jamal Murray behind the back. If you add the shooting badges, add a 3-point shoot, add all that stuff to this Tyrus Thomas card, he will perform at a much higher level, I think, than really most of these other shooting guards. It's just, or small forwards. It's just that he needs a lot of those extra badges and stuff to really be at his best. And I think if we're considering him a base card, he's probably more so down here. And as a base card, that's probably a fair slot for him. I think fully upgraded, he might be top 3. And it honestly just kind of depends how you're looking at the list. So you know what? I think I'll actually just leave it like this for now, because as a base card, he is missing a lot of shooting badges and stuff, and I think he needs to be more complete to really be an elite level card, or to be best of the best at the spot. Number 2 is Peja, 6'10" with a 6'11" wingspan. Doesn't have the best shot creation in the world, but he's huge and versatile defensively. Big, elite shooter, really versatile defensively. Very similar to a guy like Larry Markkanen, even similarly athletically. Capable athlete. He's a couple inches shorter, but his release is, in my opinion, better than Markkanen's, which, to be fair, Markkanen's is also very good, but I do think Page's is better, and I also do think that he is a more versatile defender than a guy like Markkanen, similar, or probably a little bit better, actually, as a playmaker, because John Wall escape certainly isn't bad. Overall, his saves are not horrible. I think Page is a really good card. I think number 2 at the small forward position out of these non-gambling cards is really, really good. I just think it's a little disappointing that a guy like Peja Stojakovic, despite being a good card, is the second best small forward that you can get for non-gambling. And then, in my opinion, the best is a guy like Terry Dishinger, who also needs badges to be at his very best. He needs defense. But if he gets the defense with the way his release is, having that Kemba escape, he is an amazing shot creator at the small forward position with a phenomenal release, incredible badge completeness. Yes, he needs Hoff clamps added. The fact he doesn't have that is kind of dumb. I understand that, but almost everybody probably has a Hoff clamps, especially because basically every card gets it for free at this point. So in all likelihood, you probably have Hoff clamps in your badge inventory. But at the same time, I think it's annoying that he has to have that added, but I do think when he's fully badged, especially with his release being as truly elite as it is and having that Kemba escape as well, I really do like the card. I think he's the best non-gambling small forward in the game. At the same time, the non-gambling small forward position could really use a truly top-tier card, in my opinion. Will we get one in the near future? I hope so. I'm not counting on it, but I hope we do. And either way, the small forward position I do think is solid. There's a lot of good cards, but not a lot of elite level top tier options. It'd be really nice to get a top tier option or two out of these non-gambling cards. But in general, that is where we're going to call it for today's video. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.